The red carpet was supposed to be a victory lap. Flashing cameras, screaming fans, couture stitched with confidence. But within seconds, that polished walkway turned into a live wire, and everyone felt the shock. Billy Porter did not just arrive. He detonated. Right there under the lights, with microphones inches from his face, he turned toward Nicki Minaj and said something that made nearby publicists freeze in place. Fans are shocked because this was not a playful jab or a sly comment. This was personal, sharp, and loaded with years of tension that no one knew existed. Witnesses say Nicki's smile tightened before she even spoke. Her team stepped forward. Billy did not back down. Emotions ran high as the crowd realized this was no accident. This was a confrontation waiting for the perfect stage. Phones went up. Security whispered into earpieces. And somewhere in the background, a producer could be heard muttering that this was about to overshadow the entire event. But that was only the beginning. Because while social media exploded over the red carpet clash, another story was quietly igniting behind closed doors. New Epstein files were circulating, and a name fans never expected was suddenly trending alongside words like exposed and blasted. Jay-Z. The whispers grew louder by the minute. Industry insiders began making calls. Old alliances felt shaky. The family was left divided as speculation spread faster than facts. What connects Billy Porter's public drag to Nicki Minaj's stunned silence and Jay-Z's name surfacing in one of the most controversial scandals of the decade? Is this coincidence, or are these stories colliding for a reason? As fans argue online and insiders hint at secrets still buried, one thing is clear. Tonight was not just about fashion or fame. It was about power, reputation, and what happens when carefully guarded images start to crack in front of the world. The moment Billy Porter turned back toward Nicki Minaj, the air felt heavier, like the red carpet itself had leaned in to listen. Cameras were still flashing, but the smiles had vanished. Billy's voice was calm, almost too calm, the kind that lands harder because it is controlled. He said people were tired of watching icons pretend they are untouchable while stepping on everyone else to stay relevant. Fans are shocked because it felt rehearsed, like something he had been holding in for years. Nicki laughed at first, a sharp sound that did not reach her eyes, and asked if this was really the place for whatever speech he had prepared. Emotions ran high as Billy replied that this was exactly the place, because truth loves a spotlight. People nearby started whispering. A stylist pulled out her phone. A publicist tried to slide between them, but Billy stepped to the side, never breaking eye contact. He accused Nicki of turning her back on artists who once defended her, of weaponizing her fanbase, and of rewriting history when it suited her. Nicki fired back that she had survived an industry that chews women up, and she was not about to take lectures from someone who only speaks up when cameras are rolling. The exchange felt raw, messy, and personal. Fans online would later replay the clip frame by frame, debating who blinked first. What no one on that carpet knew was that this confrontation was already echoing inside the industry. Earlier that day, a group chat of executives had been buzzing over newly circulating Epstein files. Names were being skimmed, connections questioned, old photos dragged out of archives. When Jay-Z's name surfaced, even with unclear context, the tone shifted from curiosity to panic. Insiders started making quiet calls, checking timelines, reminding each other who owed whom favors. The family was left divided as speculation spread, because once a name like that appears, facts become secondary to perception. Back on the carpet, Nicki's team finally stepped in, urging her to move along. She paused, leaned closer to Billy, and said he better be careful about who he points fingers at because skeletons never stay buried. That line alone sent fans into a frenzy. Was she hinting at something? Was this just heat of the moment drama, or did she know something more? Billy smiled, thanked the photographers, and walked away as if nothing had happened. But the damage was done. Within minutes, the clip was everywhere, captions screaming about betrayal and hidden beef. As the night went on, the stories collided. Bloggers started connecting dots that might not have existed hours earlier. Some claimed Billy had been warned about speaking up. Others said Nicki had been on edge all week because of what was about to drop. Jay-Z's camp stayed silent, which only fueled more questions. Friends close to him reportedly advised him to lay low, while others argued silence would look like guilt. Fans are shocked by how quickly admiration turned into suspicion. By the time the after-parties began, the mood had changed. Laughter sounded forced. Conversations stopped when unfamiliar faces approached. One producer was overheard saying this felt like the beginning of something ugly, the kind of moment people look back on and say that was when it all cracked. Billy was seen in a corner, surrounded by a small group, speaking quietly but firmly. Nicki left early, avoiding reporters, her expression unreadable. And somewhere far from the flashing lights, lawyers were already reviewing documents, assistants were deleting old tweets, and families were having tense late-night conversations. Emotions ran high not just on the carpet, but behind closed doors, where reputations are protected at all costs. No one knew what would come next, only that the night meant to celebrate glamour had opened doors that might not close again. The next morning did not bring clarity, only louder noise. Fans woke up to headlines stitched together from clips, screenshots, and anonymous tips. The red carpet moment had turned into a full-blown debate about power and silence. Commentators argued over Billy's tone, over whether Nicki's warning meant anything at all, and over why certain names always seemed to hover around controversy without ever landing cleanly. Emotions ran high as fanbases clashed, each side convinced they were defending truth itself. Inside one luxury hotel suite, Billy sat with two close friends, replaying the night in his head. He admitted he had not planned to say as much as he did, but once Nicki pushed back, something snapped. He said there comes a moment when staying polite feels like lying. One friend warned him that speaking out comes with a cost, especially when the industry protects its own. Billy nodded, already feeling the weight of calls he had ignored from people who never checked on him before. Across town, Nicki's circle was in damage control mode. Phones buzzed non-stop as her team debated whether to respond or let the moment fade. Nicki paced the room, insisting she would not apologize for surviving an industry that tried to box her in. She felt betrayed, not just by Billy, but by how quickly narratives formed without her voice. Fans are shocked by how quiet she remained, interpreting silence as strategy or fear depending on who you ask. Meanwhile, the whispers around the Epstein files grew more tangled. No document clearly accused anyone, but names were being mentioned in connection to social circles, events, and secondhand accounts. That gray space became fertile ground for speculation. Jay-Z's name trended alongside question marks and caps-locked accusations from people who admitted they had not read anything themselves. Friends of the artist expressed frustration, saying association does not equal involvement, but the internet rarely waits for nuance. Families felt the pressure too. Loved ones began asking uncomfortable questions, not because they believed the rumors, but because public perception has a way of forcing private conversations. The family was left divided between those who wanted to address everything head-on and those who believed feeding the fire would only make it worse. Emotions ran high at dinner tables where fame had once felt like protection. Back online, old interviews resurfaced. Clips were taken out of context, stitched together to suggest foreshadowing. A harmless comment from years ago was suddenly framed as suspicious. Fans argued over timelines, over who attended which party and who stood next to whom in grainy photos. Influencers jumped in, promising exclusive details that never quite materialized. The story fed itself. Billy eventually broke his silence with a short statement, saying he stood by his words but never claimed to be a judge or jury. He spoke about accountability in general terms, about the responsibility that comes with influence. Some praised him for courage. Others accused him of chasing attention. Nicki responded hours later with a message about resilience and respect, never naming him directly, which only fueled more interpretations. Jay-Z's team finally issued a brief comment, calling the circulating claims misleading and irresponsible. They emphasized that being named in online chatter does not equal wrongdoing. Still, critics argued the response felt too polished, too late. Fans are shocked by how quickly trust can wobble when doubt is planted, even without proof. Industry insiders began distancing themselves quietly. Invitations were rescinded. Collaborations were paused without explanation. One executive admitted off record that controversy makes people nervous, even when it is built on shadows. Careers do not crumble overnight, but cracks start small. As days passed, the red carpet moment took on a symbolic weight. It was no longer just about Billy and Nicki. It became a stand-in for bigger questions about who gets believed, who gets protected, and who pays the price for speaking out. Emotions ran high in comment sections where strangers argued as if personally invested. Late one night, Billy received a call from someone he respected, warning him that storms like this do not blow through quickly. Billy listened, then said sometimes weather needs to change. Somewhere else, Nicki watched the same clips again, wondering how a single night spiraled into something she could not control. And behind all of it, the rumors continued to churn, unresolved, shaping narratives that might outlive the truth itself. The tension did not fade, it thickened. Every new day brought another angle, another so-called source, another reason for fans to dig in deeper. Talk shows opened with the red carpet clip as if it were a cultural turning point. Panelists argued about intent, about whether Billy had crossed a line or finally drawn one. Fans are shocked at how quickly a single exchange turned into a referendum on the entire industry. Emotions ran high as even neutral observers felt pushed to pick a side. Billy found himself uninvited from an event he had already confirmed weeks earlier. No explanation was given, just a polite message about scheduling conflicts. He laughed when he read it, but the laugh did not last. He told a friend this was exactly what people mean when they talk about soft punishment. Nothing loud, nothing public, just doors quietly closing. Still, he refused to backtrack. He said if truth makes people uncomfortable, maybe comfort was the problem. Nicki, on the other hand, decided to reclaim the narrative in her own way. She went live late one night, her voice steady, her eyes sharp. She spoke about loyalty, about how fame teaches you who smiles in your face and who waits for a moment to strike. She never said Billy's name, but everyone knew who she meant. Fans flooded the comments with hearts and fire emojis, praising her strength. Others accused her of deflection. The divide only deepened. At the same time, the Epstein file chatter took a darker turn. A former associate of a convicted figure hinted in an interview that many powerful names would shock the public if fully exposed. No evidence was provided, but the implication was enough. Jay-Z's name resurfaced, this time paired with phrases like long-rumored and quietly protected. The family was left divided again as friends debated whether to push back harder or let legal teams handle it. Emotions ran high in rooms where trust had always felt solid. Industry veterans warned that moments like this have a way of rewriting legacies. One retired executive said scandals do not need to be true to be effective, they only need to be loud. Brands began reassessing partnerships, not because of confirmed wrongdoing, but because uncertainty scares investors. Fans are shocked by how business moves faster than truth. Behind the scenes, alliances shifted. People who once praised Billy's courage stopped returning messages. Others, previously distant, reached out in quiet support. Nicki noticed a similar pattern, with some collaborators suddenly eager to show loyalty, while others grew cautious. The industry felt like a chessboard where every move was calculated, every silence intentional. One night, Billy and Nicki crossed paths again, not on camera, but in a private setting where no one expected fireworks. The room went quiet when they noticed each other. For a moment, it looked like another confrontation might erupt. Instead, Nicki spoke first, telling him that public callouts leave scars you cannot see. Billy replied that silence leaves them too. The exchange was brief, tense, and unresolved. They walked away in opposite directions, both shaken in different ways. Online, conspiracy theories flourished. Some claimed the red carpet clash was a distraction, timed to pull attention from the Epstein files. Others insisted it was coincidence amplified by hungry media. Fans argued over screenshots, over who followed whom, over cryptic lyrics and old speeches now read as clues. Emotions ran high as speculation replaced sleep for those invested in every update. Jay-Z remained mostly out of sight, fueling endless debate. His supporters insisted history would not be rewritten by rumor. Critics argued that power has always insulated the famous. The family was left divided not just by belief, but by fear of what constant scrutiny does to children, partners, and parents who never asked for headlines. As weeks passed, the initial shock settled into something heavier. The industry felt less glamorous, more fragile. Billy wondered if speaking out would change anything beyond his own trajectory. Nicki questioned who she could trust when admiration turned so quickly. And the rumors, still unresolved, hovered like a storm cloud that refused to move on. Fans are shocked not just by the drama itself, but by what it revealed about fame, silence, and the cost of being seen. By the time the story reached its fourth week, exhaustion had set in, but the pressure had not eased. It had simply changed shape. Outrage cooled into suspicion, and suspicion hardened into something more permanent. Fans are shocked by how quickly drama becomes background noise while consequences quietly settle in. Emotions ran high behind smiles that now looked practiced instead of natural. Billy noticed the shift first in rooms that used to welcome him without question. Conversations stopped when he entered. Compliments sounded careful, almost rehearsed. Someone he had admired for years pulled him aside and advised him to focus on his craft, not commentary. Billy replied that his voice was part of his craft, whether people liked it or not. Still, he went home that night wondering how many chances he had traded for one moment of honesty. Nicki felt the strain in a different way. Her fans remained loud and loyal, but the joy of performing felt heavier. Every lyric was dissected, every expression turned into a headline. She told a friend that surviving does not mean you stop feeling the hits, it just means you learn how to stand with bruises. The family was left divided between protecting her peace and encouraging her to strike back harder. Emotions ran high in those conversations because silence and noise both carry risk. The Epstein rumors refused to die, morphing instead into long threads and late-night videos promising answers. Jay-Z's absence from public events became its own story. Supporters called it dignity. Critics called it avoidance. Insiders whispered that powerful people rarely panic, but they do prepare. Lawyers worked quietly. Statements were drafted and redrafted, never released. The uncertainty hung over everything like static. One industry dinner turned tense when a guest joked that this year felt cursed. Laughter followed, then silence. Someone mentioned the red carpet night. Someone else mentioned the files. No one said names, but everyone knew them. Fans are shocked when glamour cracks, but those inside feel it first. The illusion of safety fades, replaced by calculation. Billy received a message from a young artist thanking him for saying what others feared to say. It stayed with him longer than the criticism ever could. He realized impact is rarely clean. It does not come wrapped in applause. It arrives messy, misunderstood, and often lonely. Still, he questioned whether the timing had drowned out the message. Emotions ran high as he weighed conviction against cost. Nicki, in a rare quiet moment, admitted to a confidant that being strong all the time can feel like a trap. The world expects armor, not reflection. She wondered aloud if calling Billy out publicly had protected her or simply added another layer to a story she could not control. The answer did not come easily. As for Jay-Z, the lack of resolution became its own verdict in the court of public opinion. Some moved on, bored without new revelations. Others held on, convinced silence hides something deeper. The family was left divided not by belief alone, but by fatigue. Living under a question mark wears people down. Months later, the red carpet clip still surfaced, usually framed as the moment everything shifted. Some called it bravery, others called it recklessness. Truth sat somewhere in between, harder to package, less satisfying to argue over. Fans are shocked when stories end without closure, but real life often does. In the end, no single confession, apology, or exposé arrived to tie the narrative neatly. What remained were changed relationships, cautious steps, and lessons learned too publicly to ignore. Emotions ran high long after the cameras turned away, because fame does not protect you from fallout, it only broadcasts it. And so the industry moved forward, altered but unhealed. Billie kept speaking, though with sharper awareness. Nicki kept reigning, though with guarded trust. Jay-Z kept silent, letting time do what statements could not. The questions lingered, unresolved, reminding everyone watching that in a world built on image, even a moment can leave a permanent mark. As the months wore on, the echoes of that night refused to fade. What had begun as a red carpet confrontation became a case study in how quickly glamour turns brittle under scrutiny. Fans are shocked because the drama seemed contained, yet every whisper, every reposted clip, kept it alive. Emotions ran high not just in the industry, but among followers who debated motives, alliances, and secrets as if they were insiders themselves. Billie found himself navigating events with a new caution. He still spoke his truth, but now measured the consequences more carefully. A casual comment in a magazine interview could spark threads of debate, and he noticed how easily colleagues hesitated around him. Friendships shifted. Some people pulled closer, admiring his courage, others maintained distance, afraid of being caught in a fallout they did not understand. He realized that influence carries weight beyond applause, and the cost is often invisible. Nicki, meanwhile, capitalized on her silence in a way that only she could. She dropped a surprise performance on a late-night show, her energy commanding and untouchable. Fans erupted, claiming she had the final word without uttering a single name. Still, the quiet intensity carried attention. Those closest to her noticed fatigue in her eyes, the kind that comes from constant vigilance. The family was left divided, as some urged her to fight back publicly while others reminded her that restraint could be more powerful than words. The Epstein files continued to haunt headlines. Names, partial references, and cryptic connections circulated in whispers. Jay-Z's absence became a talking point in tabloids, fueling speculation without proof. Insiders acknowledged that silence in high-stakes situations can protect you legally, but it also shapes perception in the court of public opinion. Fans are shocked when public figures become symbols of unresolved questions, not for their actions but for their absence. Industry events became minefields. Producers and executives moved like chess players, carefully planning appearances, alliances, and statements. One small misstep could reignite the frenzy. Billie attended panels, giving measured insight on accountability and entertainment, his words carefully chosen yet still potent. Nicki appeared at award shows with a serene poise that belied the storm beneath. Even when cameras captured smiles, the tension lingered in the angles unseen by public eyes. Emotions ran high as every handshake, every glance, every photograph became scrutinized for hidden meaning. Rumors about hidden alliances, betrayals, and quiet threats circulated on social media with relentless speed. Every fan theory became a micro-story, a lens through which millions consumed the drama. Memes, commentaries, and viral videos kept the narrative alive, shaping opinions as much as facts did. Billie's clip and Nicki's cryptic responses were replayed endlessly, dissected, and recontextualized. The family was left divided not only over facts, but over interpretation, forcing even loyal supporters to question what they believed. Quiet conversations happened behind closed doors. Lawyers, managers, and PR teams debated every syllable released publicly, every image shared, every appearance planned. Strategies were drafted, rewritten, and sometimes discarded as the media landscape shifted. The stakes were personal and professional. Emotions ran high because decisions now had consequences that extended beyond individual reputations, careers, legacies, and family names hung in the balance. Billie reflected on the power of the red carpet moment. What began as confrontation had become a catalyst, revealing fractures in alliances and exposing truths that some wished remained hidden. Nicki acknowledged the same privately, realizing that restraint and timing were as potent as confrontation. Jay-Z's silence acted as a third force in the drama, shaping perception and speculation in ways words never could. Fans are shocked not by what was said, but by the weight of what remained unsaid. As seasons changed, the story persisted. Anniversaries of the event were marked by reposted clips, think pieces, and online debates. Each retelling added a layer, a new interpretation, or a missed detail, keeping the drama alive for an audience that craved resolution but rarely received it. Emotions ran high in forums, comment sections, and private group chats, as every participant became a minor player in a narrative much larger than themselves. Ultimately, the red carpet night became legend, not for resolution, not for clarity, but for the way it exposed the fragility behind fame. Billie, Nicki, and Jay-Z navigated the aftermath with different strategies, each aware that public perception is an unrelenting force. Fans are shocked by the enduring nature of such moments, and the industry learned that one night, one exchange, can ripple indefinitely, shaping careers, reputations, and the culture itself. The questions linger, unanswered, leaving everyone watching to wonder what comes next. The fallout continued to echo long after the initial flashes of cameras faded. Billy Porter, once the center of heated debates and viral clips, now moved through the industry with a heightened awareness. Every interview, every appearance was calculated. He still spoke out, but his words were chosen like moves in a high-stakes game, each phrase tested for consequence. Fans are shocked by how quickly admiration can shift to suspicion, and how a single statement can ripple across social media for months. Emotions ran high because even victory came with a cost no one could measure. Nicki Minaj, meanwhile, had mastered the art of controlled response. She gave interviews that sounded casual but were layered with subtext. Her performances carried an intensity that reminded fans of her dominance, but insiders noticed a careful restraint in her interactions. She rarely engaged directly with Billie or the controversy, letting speculation do the work for her. The family was left divided as friends debated whether her silence was strategic genius or a calculated risk. Emotions ran high in these private conversations because every decision could either protect or expose her further. The Epstein files continued to surface in obscure ways. Fragments of information, vague references, and insinuations kept Jay-Z's name trending. The public obsessed over connections, timelines, and potential implications, often without seeing the full picture. Lawyers worked quietly, statements were drafted and withheld, and advisors monitored public sentiment. Fans are shocked when influence shields some, while perception punishes others, leaving reputations hanging in a precarious balance. Industry insiders spoke of the night as a turning point. One executive, speaking off the record, said that the red carpet clash revealed the delicate equilibrium of fame, influence, and secrecy. Careers shifted subtly, collaborations stalled, and previously strong alliances re-evaluated. Billie noticed doors closing quietly, people once friendly now distant. Nicki observed the same pattern, with supporters becoming cautious and allies assessing their own positions. Emotions ran high because trust, once assumed, now required constant negotiation. Social media never slept. Every snippet of footage, every offhand comment, every facial expression was dissected endlessly. Conspiracy theories flourished, connecting dots that may not have existed, linking red carpet tension with the files in ways the public could only speculate about. Fans argued, reposted, and created narratives that sometimes outpaced the facts. The family was left divided not over what had happened, but over how it was interpreted, magnified, and circulated. Quietly, both Billie and Nicki realized the scale of what they had set in motion. Billie understood that speaking out invited scrutiny far beyond his intentions. Nicki recognized that maintaining composure in public required constant vigilance. Jay-Z's silence became a third, almost invisible character, influencing perception and strategy without a single public word. Fans are shocked at how much weight silence can carry, shaping dialogue, speculation, and legacy. Months later, retrospectives called it a defining moment of the decade. Think pieces explored themes of accountability, loyalty, power, and the fragility of reputation. Billie, Nicki, and Jay-Z became case studies in how actions, words, and silence interplay in the entertainment world. Emotions ran high in comment sections, forums, and private conversations, proving that the night's impact extended far beyond the event itself. What had begun as a red carpet confrontation had become a lasting cultural touchstone. In the end, no single explanation resolved the tension. No confession, no statement, no viral clip could fully untangle the web of perception, influence, and speculation. Billie continued his journey with measured courage. Nicki maintained her dominance with guarded strength. Jay-Z stayed silent, letting time, perception, and ambiguity do what statements could not. Fans are shocked by the endurance of such moments, reminded that in a world obsessed with image, one night can leave marks that last indefinitely. The story persisted, unresolved, leaving everyone watching to question what truly happens when fame, power, and secrecy collide. As the saga stretched into nearly a year, the reverberations of that infamous night became a fixture in entertainment gossip. Billy Porter's red carpet confrontation with Nicki Minaj had evolved from a shocking moment into a legend whispered in industry circles. Every public appearance, every statement, every subtle gesture was scrutinized for meaning. Fans are shocked because what seemed like a single clash had become a living narrative, growing more tangled with each passing day. Emotions ran high as observers debated motives, implications, and loyalties, often without knowing the full story. Billie noticed how carefully people treated him now. Casual compliments were measured, handshakes were cautious, and invitations were sometimes quietly rescinded. He reflected privately that speaking truth in public is a rare act that carries invisible consequences. A close friend reminded him that influence attracts both admiration and resentment, often in equal measure. Billie nodded, realizing that courage and caution are inseparable when the spotlight lingers. Emotions ran high as he weighed whether his words had shifted culture or just rattled cages. Nicki maintained her calculated silence, but it was far from passive. She launched new projects, dominated performances, and subtly reminded the public of her relevance. Every carefully chosen word in interviews hinted at strength and resilience without naming anyone directly. Fans were shocked by her ability to turn inaction into influence, leaving speculation to fuel her narrative. Insiders noted that her poise created both respect and unease in those around her, a powerful combination that few could navigate. The Epstein files remained a persistent undercurrent. Jay-Z's name lingered, connected to rumors, indirect references, and speculation that never culminated in confirmation. Industry veterans explained that power often operates through omission, that silence can protect, manipulate, and control perception simultaneously. The family was left divided, with some defending reputations while others feared lingering shadows might tarnish them regardless of truth. Emotions ran high because uncertainty can hurt as much as revelation. Social media and news outlets amplified every development. Snippets of interviews were dissected frame by frame. Old clips were reframed to suggest foreshadowing or hidden intent. Conspiracy theories proliferated, connecting the red carpet clash with broader allegations, sometimes logically, often purely speculative. Fans argued endlessly over intent, loyalty, and accountability. Emotions ran high because the narrative had taken on a life of its own, separate from those at its center. Both Billie and Nicki began to understand the endurance of public perception. Billie realized that speaking out invited scrutiny far beyond what he had anticipated. Nicki acknowledged that maintaining influence required careful management of every word and image. Jay-Z's silence remained a potent, invisible force, shaping perception without uttering a single syllable. Fans are shocked at how power and ambiguity can manipulate conversation, proving that influence extends beyond what is said. Industry insiders treated the saga as a masterclass in reputation management. Collaborations were delayed, deals reassessed, and alliances quietly tested. Even after months, the tension persisted, a reminder that one night, one moment of exposure, could alter trajectories permanently. Emotions ran high as individuals and families navigated fame, loyalty, and public scrutiny, each decision rippling far beyond private intentions. Retrospectives on the red carpet night labeled it transformative. Think pieces explored accountability, courage, manipulation, and perception, analyzing how a confrontation, silence, and speculation intertwined to shape a cultural phenomenon. Billie, Nicki, and Jay-Z became case studies, demonstrating how influence operates in ways unseen and unpredictable. Fans are shocked by the endurance of such moments, the subtle power of restraint, and the far-reaching effects of a single dramatic night. The story remained unresolved, proving that fame, secrecy, and speculation are forces that rarely sleep. And now, as the story of Billie Porter, Nicki Minaj, and Jay-Z continues to unfold, the drama shows no signs of slowing. The red carpet moment may have started it all, but the ripples have grown into waves that touch every corner of the industry. Fans are shocked at how one heated exchange, paired with whispers of powerful names in controversial files, can shake foundations, test loyalties, and change perceptions overnight. Emotions ran high not just in the spotlight, but behind closed doors, where careers, reputations, and families navigate a storm far from public view. We've seen Billie confront fame with courage, speaking his truth even as doors quietly closed. We've watched Nicki turn silence into strategy, commanding attention without uttering a single accusatory word. We've observed Jay-Z's quiet presence shape conversations, proving that sometimes restraint carries more weight than any statement. The family was left divided, the industry cautious, and fans are shocked because the consequences of one night stretched far beyond anyone's expectations. Speculation continues, rumors persist, and the questions remain: who will respond next, what truths will surface, and which alliances will survive the scrutiny? This story is far from over, and now it's your turn. What do you think really happened behind the flashes and the headlines? Who do you side with in this escalating saga, and what secrets do you think are still buried? Comment below with your thoughts, smash that like button if you want more exclusive entertainment drama, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next explosive update. The industry is watching, the fans are watching, and now, so are you. Stay tuned, because in this world of fame, power, and secrecy, the next twist could be just around the corner.